Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about 7 things that women look for in men. And I think you're going to find this really important as it reveals a lot about female nature and what their priorities are in life. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, and I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to anybody, is social status. Because this includes money, group approval, image, and the important thing to really understand about this, being the number 1 thing that attracts women to men, is that it doesn't even have to be real status. It could just be the appearance of status. Now, something that I want you guys, MGTOW, to understand. It's not just the social status. It's also the appearance that the man is a simp and will do anything for the woman. So if he's a very wealthy, powerful, respected man, but he's also very disciplined, oddly, she's not going to stick around for very long. But if he's a blue pill simp, if he's a mangina, if he's a Captain Save-A-Ho, and he has status and resources, women are going to be really attracted to that type of a man. Interesting, isn't it? So it's not, you've known this all along, right? Men know this right from the start, okay? That the women are not attracted to good men. They're attracted to men who are popular and, who have status. So that should just show you, where her mind is at, what her priorities are in life. Okay, moving on. The second thing that women look for in a man is, how do I put this? That his priority in life is her. That, you see, look, well, that men think about sex, dozens of times a day, right? Women, who know, 2 or 3 times a day, maybe. Now, what the woman is trying to do is she's trying to take that instinct and she's trying to get it focused on her and her alone. So that's the game, okay? If the man isn't showing, first off, if the man doesn't have the status and he's not thirsty for the women, she's not going to really try to play her game too strongly. But under those conditions, the game begins. And the game is that tendency within the male has to be associated directly to her. That's why she breaks off the relationships with other people. That's why she tries to set it up as if it's you and her against the world. And once you actually get to that stage, just so you know, where it's you and her against the world, she will call all of her friends and all of your friends exclusively her friends, and then she will kick you out. Now, this brings me to, the number 3 thing that women look for in men. And I hope you can see from these earlier 2 things, it's not just utility, you know what I mean? It's not just that he has something that she wants. It's not just that he's weak enough that he lets her have it. It's the pleasure of destroying him. I know that sounds terrible. Women delight in debasing men because I believe women feel, due to their place in the sexually dimorphic species that we are, that she is resentful and she is entitled to this. So any chance that the woman can get to lord over the man, this is absolute pleasure for her. And it's a bit of a sick pleasure because it's not natural, right? Even a little boy buckles under the authority of his mother. It's too much. And if he allows it to take place, and if it's really forced upon him, it destroys the young boy. He becomes a mama's boy. And he can still get good size and some decent strength, but his mindset is ruined. He becomes an emotional, complaining woman in a man's body. So he never really develops into very much of anything in life. And I hope that, you can get some appreciation of this, right? Why somebody from an inferior position would take great pleasure in lording over and having control over someone that actually has more virtue. Now, I know that a lot of you think you know what I mean by the word virtue. You do not. I mean the habits and the skills that enable man to prosper and to get ahead in the world. And that includes not harming others, because that would, lead to a whole bunch of problems. But it does not include taking care of anybody or feeling sorry for anybody or anybody having a claim on anything that is yours. Your wants, your needs, your ideas, they're not a claim on anything of mine. You can express them, you can put them out there, and that's it. I don't have to do anything for you, and you don't have to do anything for me. These are my views. You don't have to agree. Anyway, so you understand. Fifth thing that women are looking for in a man. Men are conditioned to behave in a certain manner. She's looking for a submissive man. She's looking for a man who will take orders. She's looking for a man that she can control. This is why women start fights with men. This is why when the man says, look, I don't want to argue. I'm not looking for any trouble. I'll try to help out. Let me just relax and get something to eat. And the woman won't, because she wants him in this hyper emotional state. She doesn't want him in this reasonable, rational, intelligent mindset. She has no control over that. She can't really argue in that setting. And I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about this tendency within female nature to trade on their sexuality and to use it to control and to manipulate. And you can understand how indulging this tendency within the individual, within the woman, would stop any other development as a human being. She's not going to develop skills. She's going to rely on her looks. She's not going to develop the ability to work fairly with others and inspire and lead them and to lead herself through difficult circumstances. She's always going to be manipulating and getting things done for her. Understand, you're not doing anybody any favors by doing things for them. Sure, there's times when people need a little help, but that's different from creating a dependent. And you understand that the woman is a dependent, and that we as men, civilized men, we're building civilization and building technology and inventing new things to overcome the female limitation in the environment, right? So now she's empowered. She didn't even build these things, okay? This is why we say, that if all the men stopped working, for a day or two, that would be it. Everything would be over. But we could recover if the women stopped working. As a matter of fact, it would actually be for the best in the long run, because it would enable the men to then assert their place and of natural order, and then the men could build families again, and you would see the population rate, turn around, population growth rate turn around. But as it is now, you've just got these entitled, empowered women who are just abusing the hell out of the men and, their sexuality. They're using it to get ahead. It's like, yeah, you're a great CEO. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have the first clue what's going on here. You're just throwing your assumed virtues around. And I've covered this before, okay? This is how the weak are going to get by in the world through their position within the social group. And that's fine. You know what I mean? It's like, what is a child going to do? All right? That's what it's going to do. So, what is a disabled person going to do? That's what they're going to do. Okay? They're going to rely on the group and their position within the group. Problem becomes when the whole society thinks that that's the most important thing in the world. Right? And then you've got a population, 80% of the people in your country, they want to be on welfare. And they vote for more welfare, right? But only 20% of the people are paying the actual taxes. So, it's a recipe for destruction, right? Okay. The next thing, that women look for in men, understand that all these other traits enable a woman to control the man. He's worth controlling. He's willing to work. He's strong enough to work, okay, and develop resources. And he's willing to give them all over to her. Okay? And she's able to manipulate him. And she takes great pleasure and pride in that. This creates a great feeling of satisfaction within the women. Great power. And it is great power. And it can be, and the young, attractive, girl, the young woman, she has the most of that power. So don't let yourself be the type of man who can be controlled in this fashion. It's terrible. It's like men being under the influence Okay, next thing that women are looking for in a man, and you understand these other traits are essentially prerequisites. She's looking for an emotional tampon. She's looking for a male girlfriend. She's looking for a domestic servant, okay? Someone who will take care of her in her personal needs, like, fixing a toilet, going with her to the mall, picking her up from work, going to the grocery store, taking out the garbage, cleaning up, okay? That's what she's looking for, right? Understand, this is her role in a sexually dimorphic species. She's not the hunter. She's not the builder. She's not the fighter. She's not the protector. She bears the children. And all this stuff that you think's going on right now with men and women being equal, it's bullshit. It's men moving the resources over to women to please the women. That's all it is. So the idea that they're like in charge and they're making these decisions and women are moving up in the world, no, none of those things are true. As a matter of fact, by giving them all of these things, we're stifling their development. Women have not acted like decent human beings here in the West for about the last 30 or 40 years. There was still some trace of them left over. Now, don't get upset. Don't think that I'm talking about every single woman. And an individual woman in an individual circumstance with an individual person, she can do what she wants. She's very capable. She's a human being. But women as a whole, young women growing up, the values that they have, they don't value men. They don't respect men. They use this humiliation and shame and the desperation of the men to control the men, to knock the men down. It destroys the future of the society because, as I've said, it's the men who are doing the work and doing the building, and they're merely giving it over to the women to get access to the women, and the women are just overplaying their hand more and more. Okay? So I want you to get that overall concept. If the men stopped helping the women, that's it. It's over. No more buildings, no more bridges, no more electrical grid, no more computer networks, no more borders, no more laws, nothing. All of this has been given to the women. Perhaps the women could write some books. That's about it. Take care of, smaller family groups. They could do that. But, this whole idea of like women being the equal of men, we see all of our pop culture and things like that, where the women are just as strong as the men. And no, that's not true. Now, you have plenty of men that are just so damn weak, right, that they've adopted this female mindset. So you've got that going on. There are some women who have a stronger mindset than some men. But that's because the men have been conditioned to have that mindset. So I know that some of you might have been thinking that this was going to be a video about 7 traits that you could develop as a man to get influence over the women. But no, it's not. It's 7 traits that you need to guard against displaying. Otherwise, you will become the victim of a very unethical type of woman that has no virtues, which brings up this next subject of how long has it been, since women have displayed actual virtue. And I don't mean finding fault with men. That's not what I mean. Like a woman stands up and says, all men are evil, therefore, I want to pass this feminist legislation that's going to move 100% of our discretionary budget towards helping women around the world. You think I just made that up? No, I didn't. That's a bill that they recently just passed in Canada. Right? Because Justin Trudeau, he's such a good man. He's such a good man. He's better than all the other men. That's what he's saying. He's going to take all of the money that Canada raises and give it to the women. Oh, what a good man. What a good man. Of course, he's a traitor and he's selling out his own people, right? For the approval of some women who are manipulating him. So there you go. Don't be that man. That's what I'm saying. All right. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. But let me just remind you guys to stop by and check out my Wednesday night and Saturday night live open Google Hangouts, where I just invite everybody in. So if you want, you can come into the Hangout, to the podcast, and hang out and talk for a while. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.